What's up, awesome listeners? Time to ignite your potential. Welcome to the Daily Minds podcast. We're thrilled to have you on this incredible journey of growth, learning, and empowerment. At Daily Minds, we believe in the power of knowledge and its impact on our lives. Whether you're here for business insights, better mental health, or pure inspiration, you've hit the jackpot. Our mission? To provide valuable content that not only informs but also inspires action. Each episode is crafted with care, offering expert advice, personal stories, and practical tips you can use every day. Remember, every step towards self-improvement is a step towards a brighter future. We're here to support, guide, and cheer you on through your personal and professional journey. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's grow together, learn together, and make a difference together. Stay inspired and keep listening.
Yes, hi everyone. Welcome once again to the Minds podcast. Today we have another guest, Labov, and let me let him introduce himself so that you can better understand who he is and what he's bringing us today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm ready to have a good conversation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, so you can just begin by sharing us with your journey as an entrepreneur and an author, and what inspired you to write the book, The Power of Differentiation.
I'm an author of this book called The Power of Differentiation, and it's all about identifying and discovering what makes you, either as a person or a company, unique. And it's an exciting path to go down because you identify magic. You find things that people do, that products have, that procedures that are created, developed, that are very, very special and distinctive. And then what happens as my company goes down that path, and we detail it in the book, is you name those differentiations, you honor them, and before you launch them to the world, you celebrate them with the most important people, and that is the people that are on your team, the people that are supporting you, the people that sometimes are the people who build it, engineer it, and service it. It's an exciting process. In the book, I share about 50 plus stories of individuals who did that.
Okay, it seems to be a very nice book. So how did your background in linguistics influence your approach to marketing and branding?
Well, I am a firm believer that words are very important. Words create worlds. And there's a great fact that I think is important. In the English language, which is my language that I use, there are 200,000 words. 200,000. And so often when we describe our company, our product, our brand, we use the same 5 or 6 that everybody else uses, service, selection, value, quality, etc. I really urge people, because again, like I said, words create worlds, to find a special word that describes what you do. Don't use the 5 or 6 everybody else does, because nobody will pay attention.
Yes. Okay, so back on the power of the differentiation. In your book, you emphasize on the importance of differentiation in building a standout brand. So can you elaborate on what you mean by differentiation and how it can be achieved, like the tips and tricks?
Yes, we have a 5-step process that is a differentiation for my company. So it's our differentiator. First thing we do, and anybody out here, if you have a small company or a large one, you can do this. You talk with people. So the first step is what we call a brand assessment. You talk with the people in your company. You talk with your customers, your suppliers, your partners, and you ask them, what is it that they feel is strong about what you do? And you also ask what I call a secret question, which is, what should we not change? So entrepreneurs, leaders are always ready to change, always ready to do something different. At this stage, the very first stage, what's really important is to find out what you should not change. What should not to be changed. So once
Yes.
we learn that in the first step, we go to the second step, and our company will deploy a team of technical experts to go into our client's facility or technology center to meet with people, but also to identify the product or service or technology they are providing, they are offering. And we get into the details, we get into the minutia of what is in there. And that's where some of the beauty is, because we believe that your brand lives inside of your product or service. So second step is we're inside and we're learning those things. We're looking at what is different, and we're trying to make a list of the possible candidates that we would call differentiators. And we may end up with only 3 that we really think are worth focusing on. But it's a great, great path. Our third step is we then put together a plan, and we have what we call a jam session with the client. And the client will be with us and we'll cover what we've learned, what we've heard, what we've observed. And together, we solidify the approach to promote and maximize this differentiation. Then we get to the fourth step, which is where most companies begin. And that's why it's a mistake. And that is execution. That's where we decide, okay, do they need a new website? Do they need a new logo? Do they need a social media campaign? Do they need technology to show this amazing differentiation? And then the final step, number 5, is the most exciting, and that is launching it. But we first launch it to their people so that they understand it. And we celebrate with everybody involved with that brand so that they feel significance. They understand they're actually playing a role in something that is special.
That's very nice. So how do you think companies can balance the need to differentiate themselves with the pressure to conform to the industry norm?
It's a very tough situation today because companies are pressured to become a commodity. And when they are pressured to do that and they go down that path, one of the biggest problems is they take away some of the uniqueness that they've developed over the years. But another terrible, terrible thing that happens along with that is the very people who are building the product or servicing the product or designing it, their employees, their team, they become disillusioned because all of a sudden the company they loved and the product they were so proud of has been diluted. We have to fight that. We call that the commodity monster. You have to fight the commodity monster because it will eat you alive.
Okay, so can you share with us an example of a company that has successfully differentiated itself and what we can learn from their approach?
I could share 50. I'll share one. There is a company in the United States called Freightliner, and they have a division of their company that builds chassis. Now, these chassis are underneath RVs, they're underneath trucks, they're underneath vans. This company was doing well. They were doing pretty well. They were leading in a couple of segments, but in their high-end segment, the premium segment, they were really losing the game. They brought in a very, very brave, brash leader who said, you know what? We're going to make history. We're going to change the way we do business because we used to be special. We used to really take care of each client. We used to listen. We used to automatically act and make sure that our customer or client was truly, truly delighted with the experience we delivered. So he changed the way the company was currently behaving to go back to when they were more entrepreneurial, when they were listening to each client, when they cared, when they would make decisions and act. We called this campaign Driven by You, which is a really positive slogan for the campaign because it's all about the fact that the people internally are driven to take care of the customer. After they did that, they not only increased market share in every segment, but they became the number 1 premium product because their experience had upgraded so much. That's one of dozens I could share.
Okay, so let's go to marketing and branding. So you have worked with numerous companies to help them develop their brand identities. So what are some common mistakes that companies make when trying to establish their brand voice?
Well, one thing that they do that's wrong is they confuse differentiation with superiority. And that's one thing you've got to understand. And that is, I'll use a great example of a wonderful client of ours, and they're brilliant, and that's Harley Davidson. A Harley Davidson motorcycle is a piece of art. It's beautiful. It's got beautiful chrome. The experience of being a Harley Davidson member of the family is really great because they have their Harley Owners Group, which is incredible. Harley is so smart. They never go and brag and say they have the superior motorcycle in every area. Instead, they focus on what they do so well. So as they know, they always want to improve quality. They want to improve their designs. They focus on what they do best, and they don't try to be Suzuki or BMW motorcycles or Honda motorcycles. They focus on being themselves on their best day.
So which means that to build a better brand, you must first try to build your own identity by not trying to copy from someone else.
Right. Just because you can imitate somebody else for a while doesn't mean it's a good idea. And when you imitate somebody else, you're taking a chance on diluting what you do that is unique, that other company cannot emulate. And in trying to become them, you become a mediocre version of that company. And who wants to buy a mediocre version of another company? So point is, you only have a handful of uniquenesses that are worth discussing. You have to maximize each one of them.
Okay, so I always say that in the business world, you should never try to become someone else because you never know the cost they have paid to become who they are. So up to the next question. How do you think companies can create a consistent customer experience across different touch points and channels?
Well, the first thing they have to do is decide what is the experience they believe they should deliver. As I mentioned earlier about Freightliner, they determined that they were going to be very, very customer intimate. They were going to listen, and they were going to be decisive to make decisions on the spot to help their customers now. So one thing that's very, very important, it depends on your brand. It depends on what your brand is to deliver. But the goal, once you decide that, is identify as specifically as you can what is our brand promise when it comes to our experience that we're delivering. Do we promise that we will solve problems on the spot right now? Do we promise that we will be polite to the customer, that we will listen? Do we promise that we will greet them if they walk into our store? What is it? And one thing that's important is the consistency in delivering an experience when you have dealers, distributors, dozens, if not hundreds of salespeople and service people out there. It's a daunting task, but many companies have 800 salespeople out there, and they have about 800 different experiences that are being delivered. The best thing you can do is say, look, these are the 6 brand experience promises we will deliver, and this is what we will do, and we promise to do it. And if you can get your 800, as an example, people out there adhering and understanding those 6 steps, you're way ahead. It's not perfect, but you're doing very good.
Okay, so what role do you think employee engagement plays in shaping customer perceptions of a brand?
Could you repeat that again? I'm not quite sure what you said.
Yes, what role do you think employee engagement plays in shaping customer perceptions of a brand?
The employee engagement is critical. If the employee feels that he or she is doing nothing of value,
If you're an e-commerce seller, then you need Outfy to boost your social media game. Outfy is your ultimate social media management tool. It connects seamlessly with top marketplaces like Etsy and Shopify. Imagine automated content creation that churns out eye-catching videos, GIFs, and promo posts. With Outfy, share across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and YouTube, and reach a wider audience effortlessly. Schedule your posts in advance and let Outfy handle the rest. Track performance with Outfy's analytics tools. Gain insights and refine your strategy. Save time, save money, and grow your business. Many businesses have seen incredible growth with Outfy. Ready to join them? Sign up for Outfy and transform your online presence today. Outfy, efficient, effective, essential. Try it now and watch your business thrive. To support the Daddy Minds podcast, check out Outfy with the link in this episode description.
Then how in the world do we expect there to be high quality? How in the world do we expect them to respond to a customer with enthusiasm? It's not even possible. So one of the things we have to realize is the employees not only have to be informed, they have to be celebrated. They have to be brought in and explained to and celebrated with as far as what difference they make and what role they play. If you have a dedicated employee team that will work with customers with passion, you can have a pretty mediocre product and do really well. But the opposite is if you have the best product on earth and you have employees who go, yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm just being paid so much an hour. Your product will fail.
Okay, so they always say that you take care of your people, then your people will build your business. So in your work, you have stressed the importance of writing marketing messages with employee training. So can you explain why it is crucial creating a consistent customer experience?
If your customers know what they can count on and they feel that they are actually cared for by your employees, you stand a better chance. You stand a better chance of survival, but you also very likely will get very good feedback from customers that can help you improve the way you perform and maybe even improve your product. You have to look at your customers as a source of new ideas and new thinking. I would say look at them as a partner. So the better you're connecting with them, the better your product and service will be.
Okay, so what strategies have you seen work well for engaging employees and creating a sense of purpose and meaning within an organization?
One thing to do is to have an employee event where you share the good news of what you're doing. You have the employees experience the product that you are developing. So if you're building a truck, if you're building a car, if you're building an ambulance, if you're building a component, whatever, have your employees experience it. Have them drive the truck if it's a truck. Have them look at the component. Have them see what it does. Because many times employees will have one small job to do out of a large number of functions going on. Let's connect all those things for the employee. The other thing to do is to then surprise the employees with some guests, some special guests who will come into the location. I know special guests are satisfied customers who will share why they love your product. So get the employees connected to it and let them see what the product is as well as meet the end user or customer.
Okay, so now to the industry trends and insights. So what trends are you seeing in the marketing and branding space, and how do you think companies can stay ahead of the curve?
One of the bad trends is commoditization that has gone on for years, but is going on as much today as ever. It's a bad trend. It's something you have to watch because once you go down that slope, it's almost impossible to get back. So that's one to be aware of. Technology can be very good. If you lean on AI too much to go create your messaging, your imaging, everything like that, it's a mistake. However, if you determine that you want to use some creative opportunities, creative recommendations from AI that you can then make authentic or genuine for your company, that could work very well. So I think commoditization is going to be bad. Technology can be either tremendous or a mistake. So I think you have to look at those two main areas and decide if you're going to play or not.
Okay, so how do you think companies can leverage to technology to enhance their customer experience and improve their brand reputation?
Big thing with technology, and we share this in the book, technology should be there to make it easier and better for the customer to either buy or get service on the product or service that you've created. If technology is being put in place to make it easier for the company at the expense of the customer, it will fall short. So one of the best things you can do is make sure the customer feels they have a direct line to you. They can connect to you. Make it easy for them to order a product. Make it easier for them to learn more about a product. That's what technology needs to be there for. If it's there merely to save money and eliminate humans at the expense of customer relationships, in the long run, it will fall short.
Okay, so what advice would you give to companies looking forward to differentiating themselves in the very big crowded market?
Best thing to do is look at yourself compared to the competition, analyze it. If you cannot do it because you're too close to it, hire a company. That's what my company does. But if you don't have the money, do it yourself the best you can and identify the uniqueness and attributes of your competitors, and then find the magic in your product. Look for the 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 things you do that are different. Not necessarily superior, but they are what you do for some reason. And then name those things. Name them. Give them a name. You know, those of us that have children do not name our children child 1, child 2, and child 3. They have names, and they all have stories behind why we named them that. And if somebody says, tell me about so-and-so, you tell a story. Well, it's the same thing we need to do about our products or services and our differentiation. Name the differentiation. Don't just say, oh, it's just the way we build it. No, no, no. It's whatever you're going to call it, name it. My company has a branding process that we named. It's called brand re-engineering. Nobody in the world has it. We have one step that nobody in the world does. Now, we compete against companies all over the world who say they do branding, and that's great. But we have these 5 steps. We named those 5 steps. We named our process, and nobody in the world has it. That's what I want companies to do. Identify those few differentiators, name them, and then engage everybody that represents your company around them. Make them your army that goes to battle for you every single day.
Okay, so generally, what platforms or toolkits or tools or softwares do you think that can be better be used by a startup entrepreneur, for example, who wants to grow their company into something big?
Well, I'm going to answer in maybe a different way than expected. I think if you're a startup, in some ways it's easy because you're going to have very few customers. So I believe as a startup, think small, meaning think one-on-one with customers. If you have 6 clients, send them personalized emails, not generic emails. Don't treat them like they're one of 1,000 when they're one of 6, because they're one of 6. Bring them closer to your business. Ask them for help. Don't go high tech in dealing with those customers because they're working with you because they know you, they like you, and they are a source of growth for you. Now, as you grow, you look at platforms, like social media that's out there. You have to look at LinkedIn, of course, because LinkedIn is going to be very business to business. So you look at each platform as to where it will best serve your message. A LinkedIn message, a LinkedIn campaign that's consistent will go to people that are in business. It's not going to be the same as a campaign you would use on, let's say, X, or a campaign you would use on Facebook or Instagram. So you look for the exact right audience, and you make sure your message is tailored to that audience. You don't have the same generic message on LinkedIn as you do on Instagram, as an example. So you have to be specific.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a question that myself needed an answer for. I am personally building a business which I want to grow into something big, and I often need an advice from experts. So thank you very much. So,
Sure.
what's next for you and your company? And do you have any like exciting projects or initiatives on the horizon, or any other book coming up?
We have so many things that are exciting going on that some days I am a little busier than I would like to be, but it's a good feeling. Everything from promoting our book worldwide and hearing from people all over the world. Every continent has reached out. Next month, I will be on a podcast with Cambridge University out of England. They want to talk to me about the book, which I think is great. I have my own podcast at the company. We're interviewing famous authors, famous leaders in the world of business, and it's absolutely fascinating to do that. I do not want to write another book yet because I think I have not maximized the book I just released, and I don't want to drive my employees out of their minds by saying, hey, I've got a new book. Let's go work on this brand new book. And they're going, okay, look, Barry, we're still trying to deal with the book we just got out. So I want to focus on that. Lots of great opportunities. A wide range of customers have approached us. Everything from a worldwide Scotch whiskey company to a AAA baseball team, and everything in between. Car manufacturers, heating and air conditioning manufacturers, steel processors. We work with a wide range of companies, and it's honestly the most exciting time in the 40 years that our company's been in business.
So back on the book, I see you have a lot of plans for your book, of branding it and promoting it and distributing over the world. So what tips or strategies do you think better work for making a book a success? Because I personally am an author, and I manage some authors as a publisher, so that would be very helpful.
We have to realize that as an author, we are the promoters of our book. And I think the more that we just say, hey, I wrote a book, okay, somebody else take care of it, the more we're making a mistake. My opinion is I look at my book as an opportunity to inspire 1 million people worldwide. That's my goal. So I offer my book for free on my website if you want to have a digital version. I am ready to send it to you for shipping and handling if you want a physical version. I'm ready to do that. You can buy it on Amazon, all that. But what I am doing is I'm reaching out. I'm meeting a lot of people on podcasts. I've been a guest on 75, 80 podcasts in the last year. Met lots of great people, shared the story. And I believe the more you can make specific efforts, and they can be very interesting efforts. They don't have to be the same thing. But if on a daily basis, you are reaching out to people and sharing the message of your book, you're going to do something good. So there are hundreds of colleges that have heard about my book because we've reached out and offered it to them. There are hundreds of private equity and merger and acquisition companies that have heard about the book. There are business schools that have heard about the book. I want to spread the word. So that's what I do. My goal is let's spread the word. And if it's interesting to people, they'll let me know.
Okay, that's very nice. So another question, that's just for my company. If someone want to partner with you and just in terms of distributing, or for example, selling your book in our store, that option or
Yeah, what I think I know what you're saying. So what I would say is the best way to reach me is on either LinkedIn, and you can just find me there, Barry Labov, and I will connect. Just let me know that you listen to this show or whatever. And the other way is on my website, barrylabov.com. And that's where you can leave me a message, set up a meeting for 15 minutes if you'd like, or even you can get a free copy of the book. And so one way or another, it's the best way I know how to connect with people. If you want to look at my company's website is simply Labov, LABOV.com.
Okay, but for me, I have your email. I will reach out to see how we can sell your book in our stores. We have a store dedicated to books. It's called Dead Man's Book Press. We are also building another store, which is called the Dead Man's Market Press. We have a wide range of products, including books as well. And
I
our
love that.
company's website. It also have a store there.
Yeah. One thing, we are distributed worldwide through Simon & Schuster. So we are available in Simon & Schuster's catalog. So if that helps, please be aware of that.
Maybe there must be a way to connect with them. That's a very good information. I can see how we can partner with them.
Right.
Because they also want their books to reach as far as possible.
Right.
So the conversation here was really very interesting with a lot of insights. So what are the final thoughts or advice would you like to give to our listeners?
My final advice is be courageous. Look for what makes you unique. Honor it. Don't look down on it. Realize that what you're doing, those 1, 2, 3, or 4 things are valuable. They're the reason you get up in the morning and are excited. They're the reason your customers work with you. They're the reason your employees love to come in to the office or the plant or the facility. Honor those, celebrate those, and move forward being the best version of yourself instead of commoditizing.
Okay, so I really thank you very much for joining the Dead Man's podcast and sharing your wisdom and insights out of your experience from a lot of years that you have been working on helping different brands stand out.
Thank you.
So we have to share, you will share with me all the possible available links where people can connect with you. Then I will share that in the description of the podcast. I really thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
If you're an e-commerce seller, then you need Outfy to boost your social media game. Outfy is your ultimate social media management tool. It connects seamlessly with top marketplaces like Etsy and Shopify. Imagine automated content creation that churns out eye-catching videos, GIFs, and promo posts. With Outfy, share across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and YouTube, and reach a wider audience effortlessly. Schedule your posts in advance and let Outfy handle the rest. Track performance with Outfy's analytics tools. Gain insights and refine your strategy. Save time, save money, and grow your business. Many businesses have seen incredible growth with Outfy. Ready to join them? Sign up for Outfy and transform your online presence today. Outfy, efficient, effective, essential. Try it now and watch your business thrive. To support the Daddy Minds podcast, check out Outfy with the link in this episode description.